Hi TikTok, it's Janae, and I'm about to go to bed. That's why my hair is in a messy bun. I don't care about how I'm looking right now. I just feel so beautiful right now because I left an event and I wanted to say something. I left a very powerful and beautiful event called Milk and Honey, and it's hosted by Danielle Henry and Lava, a beautiful powerful dynamic duo. I love them as a duo hosting these events. I realized that being inside of that cult really did a number on me to where I've forgotten who I was. Of course, right? That's a given. But really, let me talk to you for a second, TikTok, because I didn't realize how deep this went. I realized some of my wounds that I've accumulated being within this situation, carbonation, a cult. And I went from a woman or a young lady, because I was in my early 20s, I went from being a person who was able to express herself, love being on stage, musical theater, and, showing what she got, but, a bit shy, but not as shy as, after the situation. I went from being someone who enjoyed doing what she loved and showing that she loves doing that to being someone who was afraid to show it, being afraid to shine, being afraid to be seen or be heard. I realized that today. I had a burning power to sing within me, and as soon as I did in front of everyone at the event, I hid myself and I started crying and started shaking and and then I went to get some fresh air, and all this to say I didn't want to get into most of the details because it's embarrassing, but I was able to identify being around these beings of authenticity and love, divine love, and power, very, very spiritual, godlike beings within this event. I was able to identify wounds I've never thought was this deep. I never thought it was bad for me, as in that way. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was okay, but I was noticing that my wounds, I have wounds of being seen. I have wounds to be heard. I have wounds of how people will think of me if I decide to shine or show myself or show my talents and gifts, as if it was something bad to do, as if I wasn't allowed to shine and I wasn't giving myself permission. I ran out. I ran and hid from everyone after I shined, and people gave me praise, and I didn't know how to accept it. It was eye opening for me. Eye opening for me that I do. I still have work to be done. I still have healing to be done, but I'm glad I was able to identify what needed to be healed so I can heal it. And the only way to heal those particular wounds is to be scared and do it anyway. Be scared and shine anyway. Be scared and be seen anyway. Be scared and be heard anyway. So I'm practicing coming back online and sharing myself, sharing my truth, and continuously talking and singing and showing my talents, my many, many talents and gifts that I was blessed to have by the Most High, Divine God, Goddess at large. So it's just, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for Danielle and Lava for hosting this event and all the divine beings within these events, because I was able to see myself, because I was around people who took the time to look at themselves as well. So being in that type of room you're able to, get to the depths of yourself as well, because it's just in a vibrational frequency. And I'm also that type of person that I was able to track that because I'm that type of person that wants to get as deep as possible with myself as well, and I do. So I just wanted to say that, being in carbonation really did a toll on me, and I'm working on, I'm working on the wounds that I've caused myself being within that situation, being in that cult, and also the wounds that I accumulated from dealing with a narcissistic, psychopathic cult leader. And, and it's just, yeah. So healing the wounds of being seen, being heard, and shining, and getting recognition for being myself, and people actually liking me for being me. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this one last thing. It was a lot being in that cult, and being tormented in a way where you're always wrong for just being yourself. You were always wrong for being yourself, and it was, oh, Nateri wants attention when I'm not really begging for attention. So now when I get attention, I feel like it's wrong to have it. It's deep stuff, man. I just want to say I thank God for getting this far of self-awareness so I can fix myself. So, yeah, I'm really grateful. Thank you for listening. Okay.